this is more or less your final product that you will get out of this tutorial. Just a quick tip that I skimmed over. You want to have as many subdivisions as possible, because the more detail you have, the more bumps and grooves it can display. And if you don't have enough, it will come out a little bit funny. So one thing I do recommend is to perhaps have 2 subdivision surface modifiers in your scene, if possible, because it will probably lead to the best effect. I've got one set to 6 and 6, and the other one set to 2 and 2, and that will have more than enough detail for the perfect image. And this is the final render scene at the end of this tutorial, what you'll be able to do. And yeah, let's get to it. Hi guys, in this tutorial we're going to create a snowball. First thing you want to do is select your cube, and we're going to click the modifier icon here, add modifier, and we use the subdivision surface modifier so that we can make the perfect sphere, quad sphere. And we're going to put this on 4, or 3 should be fine. I'm going to use 4 though. And it has to be cat mold, it can't be simple. So this is the correct side. And then we're going to add a displacement. So it's got that snowball-y effect. You'll see what I mean now. We're going to add a new one. Put the strength to 0.15. And click on this icon here that takes you to your texture properties. We're going to select clouds as our texture. We're going to change Blender Original to Improved Perlin because it just looks better. We're going to shade this smooth. You're going to right click on it and then click Shade Smooth. And we're going to change this to 0.35. And yeah, that looks pretty good. We're going to go back to our modifier tab. We're going to add a modifier. And this time we are going to add another displacement modifier. We're going to make this 0.1, and we're going to click new, and automatically it grabs the settings of the old one. And click this, we can see it. See clouds, improved Perlin 0.35. So that's perfect. Now you can play around with these settings. I mean, if you move this up and down, you can see it changes shape. You can choose a setting that you think looks good. I'm going to leave it on that this time around. You can go around it. Yeah, it's got the shape, but it hasn't got the texture. So now we're going to add the texture shading. And all we have to do for that, let's move a little bit back, is go over here, pull this out, click on this icon here, and we're going to go to the shader editor. Now, we only have to add a few things here, but one thing I highly recommend you do if you're new to shader editor, you have to go to your Blender preferences and click on add-ons and make sure this is not selected, and click on node and make sure that you got node wrangler selected, turned on. This is one of the most essential things that should be on all the time. For whatever reason it's not. Right, now that you got that turned on, whether you use it or not, you should just always have it turned on. It seems to be like it should be part of Blender by default. Shift A, and we're going to click map range, and we're going to drop map range over here, and we're going to take the result into the roughness. Where is the roughness? Boom, 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 boom. That's perfect. One thing I would like to do over here is click use node. Let me just make this a different color for a second. Okay, cool. Now we know it's being used. I'm going to change it back to white now. Super white. There we go. And next thing I want to do is add a noise map, Shift A. So noise texture. There we go. And you can also click over here and click search or find your information there. You don't have to press Shift A like I do. It's just short keys are a lot faster. We're going to turn the factor into the value. And we're going to make sure the roughness is 0.5 and it's on 3D. That's perfect. Next thing I want to do is add a bump. Shift A. Or we can go over here and search, type in bump. Click on bump and then drag it here. And put the factor into the height over here, and put the normal into the normal. And we want to make sure that the strength is 0.15. and distance is 1. And we can play around with this. Let's just zoom in here. Let's make that. Let's just Control Z. I guess. Here we go. We're going to change this to 0.8. And that should be it. The subsurf probably needs to be increased because maybe to 0.3. What the subsurface does okay, this isn't one of those tutorials, but yeah, there you go. We have the perfect snowball. Let's go into our material viewport. Probably would have helped if I was in this earlier. I was wondering what was working. Yeah, 0.8 is fine. But you can play around with this, and let's go into our render viewport, take a look at it, and let's click on our light, and we can change to sun. Now that's way too bright. Let's put that down to, let's try 10, and press numpad 7, scroll up, and press R, just to rotate the light source. You can see how your snowball looks. And move your camera into the position that you like. Once you've got it, press Control Alt numpad 0, then press G to move it. Make sure you got the camera selected and press G to move it around. And you can go to your camera settings and increase your focal length to zoom in. But there you have it. Let's render that image. This is rendering in Eevee without really changing much. Simple snowball. I hope that helps, and I hope you make plenty of snowmen. Cheers.